Hi everyone, this is Ciara, Vice President of Global Business at Huobi Group. In today's episode of Huobi Insider, I'm very pleased to have Professor David Lee as our special guest from Singapore University of Social Science. Professor Lee, welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Ciara. It's a great pleasure to be here.
We have a big announcement to make about Huobi and SUSS. Huobi's partnership with Professor Lee extends beyond these shores. In the name of supporting blockchain and fintech education, Huobi Singapore has recently supported this cause with a donation of 30,000 Singapore dollars to the SUSS Inclusive FinTech Fund. So, Professor Lee, could you elaborate about this?
First of all, I'd like to thank Huobi for supporting us with your funds, and we're very appreciative. Singapore University of Social Sciences, our mission, we have again an acronym of 3H. The first H for our students is that we hope that they will have the head, the right brain, to be able to pursue knowledge. And the second H is to have good habit, so that they are always thinking about serving the society, and also good habit in the way they acquire knowledge in the continuous education. And the third H is the heart, and hope that the students have the heart to serve the society. That is the mission of the university, that we focus a lot of using technology to serve the society. And the area that we look at for fintech is inclusive fintech, and the fund that Huobi has donated is known as the Inclusive FinTech Fund. And the fund itself, many areas. We have funds that allow students to take the examination for what I've just started called the Chartered FinTech Professional, in conjunction with SUSS and Shanghai University of Finance and Economics. But we also work in conjunction with Huobi recently, and possibly in the future, to make some of these 2 days or 8 days lessons free to people who are in between jobs, who are actually trying to have continuous education, trying to come into the area of blockchain, also trying to understand cryptography as well as cryptocurrency better. They usually are being offered free online. They are live lessons, and this is what we try to work with Huobi in the long term, to ensure that people who need the education gets it, so that we can democratize education, that people don't have to pay a lot to acquire the knowledge, to tool up, so that they can be empowered to use technology to serve the society. And the fund itself is paying it forward, meaning that when we conduct lessons, it's free, and when they find a job and when they start work, or then they actually make it, they donate back into the fund. So that's what we do. We don't ask them to do donation immediately, but to empower them first, and then we later we ask them to help others who, like them, have benefited before. The other thing we do is that we work with Smart Mesh, that we actually mesh network the entire university. And then we allow the students to use the network to build a D-app on top of that. We also provide the environment for them to act as malicious element, because in Singapore, we are very cautious, right? We need everything we have is in the sandbox. We don't allow people to just hack anything. It has to be in a proper environment. So we can have a safe environment, like a sandbox within the university, for the students to hack, the D-app, to hack the network, to act as malicious element. I think that's the best way for them to learn about cryptography. That's the best way to learn about cryptocurrency, not just by listening, but by doing it, building their own app, and coming out with the business model. And this is what we do. And our university is not a university that our students are from the best of the families. Our university has a has a reputation for supporting students that come from different families, especially if they are, from families who are in the bottom half of the wealth pyramid. We try to help as many as possible, and we have scholarships that we help all these students to pay their fees and so on. So we are really glad that Huobi has contributed. Uh, this is very important to us as SUSS and also our students. So on behalf of our students and the school, we would like to thank Huobi for this donation. Thank you very much for helping us.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, and thank you, Professor Lee. And we look forward to a long-term partnership with SUSS and your development of blockchain fintech industry in Singapore. So for us, so why Singapore, right? So this dominance of Asian financial center is even more pronounced now than before, and Singapore has been rising as the top fintech hub, with many tech giants like Tencent, like Zoom, and Twitter setting up offices in Singapore for their strategic global expansion. And furthermore, the Singapore government has many initiatives to create a digital economy, and they have been very supportive of emerging technologies like blockchain. And that's why, we've decided make Singapore a very strategically important country for us to expand our business with Huobi Singapore. And education itself is always been a key focus for Huobi. And also that's why we decided to put in lots of resources and capital to facilitate learning. So here in Huobi, China, we have Huobi University, which is a educational and research institution focusing on frontier fields of new distributed business models and new applications of blockchain technology. And we've already have over 100 alumni from traditional business. We teach traditional business leads about blockchain, and they can learn about blockchain and see how they can combine their current business model with blockchain technology. And Singapore is important as a financial hub. So why are we supported to promote blockchain education? So Huobi Singapore look forward to this long-term relationship. And we also want to hear from you, Professor Lee. How has the blockchain landscape in Singapore has changed, and how is it compared to other countries?
As you know, I think Singapore is very token friendly and cryptocurrency friendly. One of the reasons is, of course, that the regulators, they are very good in understanding what cryptocurrencies are, and they are also very good in devising regulation as the technology improves. They don't front run technology in the regulation, and they don't lag behind. They stay in line with the technology development so that they don't over-regulate, neither do they under-regulate. And this is how Singapore tried to retain its reputation of being a node. We don't call ourselves a financial center anymore. A financial node. Even our Deputy Prime Minister always used the word node now. Singapore is a node to the rest of the world. And you can see how much the blockchain philosophy has entrenched into the regulators' mind. So we have a lot of new regulation. As you know, there is digital banking license that is about to be issued. Possibly, I will guess, is maybe before the FinTech Festival, and then, which is in December, right? Very soon, 7 and 8. Please come and join us for the Singapore FinTech Festival. They are online 24 hours. And also we have the payments license, which help a lot of exchanges as well, so that they, the advantage of Singapore is such that they make regulation very clear, so that your compliance cost is low. It's all right to be, regulated, provided that the regulation are crystal clear, so that you know what you can and you cannot do, right? And those things that you cannot do, you have a friendly regulators, and you are a genuine business person. The regulators actually assist you to solve your pain points, because they too want your business to take off. Yeah, regulators are I think it's the same around the world, that they want your business to take off. The only reason why they want to regulate is just that they do not want that the market has a lot of issues that the investors may be taken advantage of. So we also have the Omnibus Act, which is in the consultation stage, which actually to me, is very pro-token. So the regulators, on the one hand, they are tightening the regulation. Okay. On the other hand, it is very pro-token business. Now, that balance is the key to good regulation. Because how do you maintain a reputation of not being a center of scams, but at the same time, your token and blockchain project and cryptocurrency projects are all flourishing? So I think Singapore has a formula, and I was involved in all this in the earlier years because Bitcoin has the same reputation for same reputation as hedge fund in the 1990s. As I mentioned before, in the 1990s, I was the first few hedge fund in Singapore. When I told people that I was a hedge fund manager in the late 90s, they will just say, "Are you a maverick?" Right? And when I started looking into Bitcoin, they will say, "Are you a money launderer?" Right? So that's the kind of misunderstanding that people will have, but not the regulators in Singapore. They embrace hedge fund back in the 90s, and I was a vice chairman of IMA, Alternative Investment Management Association, for the Singapore chapter. And we work hand in hand with the government to promote the hedge fund industry. And it wasn't in the institution portfolio, right? All the investment consultant will say no. All the pension fund, all the sovereign wealth fund, they will not invest in hedge fund. Now you ask the pension fund, you ask the institution funds, a lot of them will say that I cannot invest in cryptocurrencies or tokens. We are in the same stage as hedge fund. But when they start to realize, then they will know that the investment will be very interesting. Okay, Singapore regulators understand that because that's how Singapore survived. We need to continue to innovate in our regulation to attract the right talent, and we have a talent permit now. We have work permit and so on. We have talent permit. So it is a very strong signal to the entire world that we welcome people who are very well versed in technology. But not only in technology, if you look at the problem statement that the MAS always put up, it is always about inclusive fintech. We do not want the fintech that will build up a situation where there is a market failure. Right? This is what we are trying to prevent, whether it's regulator or market participant. We do not want to have a market which is too speculative. We do not want to have a market which is full of scam. We do not want a market that is controlled by a few players. That is not what Singapore wants. Singapore is an open economy, physically, and an open virtual economy as well. So if you look at all the regulation, it's about being as open as possible, being in line with the innovation, and also to ensure that we attract all the right people, and not only just talent, but the right talent who believes in making the world a better place. So if you want to understand how Singapore is crafting its regulation, that is basically how you can understand the regulator.
Yeah, great. So I think it really gives me confidence that Huobi has made the right decision of expanding our Singapore office, and we're now catering to the Singapore market, providing local users with more easy to use products and more convenient services. And we are also trying our best to apply for all the license that's available in Singapore, such as the Singapore Payment Service Provider license. I would really like to visit Singapore, the financial node, I'll call Singapore, for from today. And when this whole
Most
COVID-19
welcome.
situation,
And
yeah,
I don't represent the government, like neither do I represent the regulator. But as a community member, I really welcome Huobi and welcome you to Singapore. I think um, we are all doing good for the community, and we're all trying to make the world a better place. I'm sure that more friends and more like-minded people who come to Singapore and do the right thing to make the world a better place, and the
exactly.
community will continue to grow. So I've met you so many times. I really like to you physically, but with the COVID, I'm not too sure how soon we all can meet. I welcome everyone from all over the world. Do come to Singapore. Singapore always welcome you, especially from the cryptocurrency and token world, and the blockchain world. Please come and see us. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll definitely visit Singapore as soon as I can. With the whole COVID situation is better, and especially with our co-founder Du Jun came back to Huobi, and he is now based in Singapore. So definitely expand our office in Singapore. It's great talking to you, Professor Lee, and thank you for all of your insights. And look forward to a long-term partnership with you, and look forward to talking with you again.
Thank you very much, Yara, and all the best to everyone, especially for P and you. Thank you.
Bye.